I'm Stephanie Hertz, Marketing Director at Warwick Forest Retirement Community, premier sponsor of CNU's Lifelong Learning Society. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Connor McNeil. Connor was raised in Gloucester, Virginia, and received his bachelor's degree in sports and exercise psychology from West Virginia University. He also holds a master's degree in athletics administration from Concordia University, Irvine. Connor is a certified ACE personal trainer and a former high school football and basketball coach. He has previously served as a fitness supervisor with James City County, a fitness coordinator and exercise specialist, and interim director. Connor currently holds the position of assistant director of the Riverside Wellness and Fitness Center, Middle Peninsula. Today's lecture is titled Keys to Successful Aging. Without further ado, please welcome Connor McNeil.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. Here we go. We got to chat here and make sure we're all good to go. All right, we're good to go. All right. So once again, thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for the introduction. I had that on my next slide, so it takes away one of my slides. But my name is Connor McNeil. I am the assistant director for the Riverside Wellness and Fitness Centers. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a host of different topics that are all going to be kind of combined into one major topic, which is going to be how do I successfully age? How do I slow down the aging process? And there's a lot of different topics, a lot of different key points that we'll go over, and just a lot of different facets of life that are going to contribute to the overall success that you'll have moving forward in your life. Let's see here. There we go. So a little bit of what was just talked about. I do primarily work at the Riverside Wellness and Fitness Center in Gloucester, although I am the assistant director over both facilities, so that is Newport News as well. If we have any West Virginia University graduates or fans in the chat, go ahead and throw out a Go Mountaineers for me. As already stated, all of my professional life has been served in the fitness / management world. I've been with Riverside now for about 3 years, and in my current role for right around 6 months as interim director, from interim director to assistant director. So today we're gonna go over some of the things that we offer here, programs that Riverside has available to help with the aging process as well, along with a host of different other topics that'll help you guys in your future. Some of the main topics we're going to go over today is going to be physical activity recommendations. What should you be doing on a day-to-day basis? How many minutes? How many times a day? Lifestyle changes, little tweaks that are going to be able to help you in the long run. Little things, eliminating soda and drinking water, getting enough sleep, things of those natures. Consumption tips, portioning, and a number of different things in that realm. Brain stimulation, the importance of communication, the importance of getting out, socializing, knowing your most important healthy numbers. So, as we know, we all go to the doctor. We know we get our resting heart rate checked. We get our blood pressure checked, cholesterol levels, things of that nature. Knowing what your numbers are, knowing what they should be, and knowing how to check them is very important moving forward. Importance of sleep, which is always a favorite topic for most people. People say, oh, I get to sleep all the time. That's fantastic. The importance of sleep goes beyond what most people even realize. One of the most important things in your life is getting somewhere between 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So we're gonna talk about that as well. And then, like I touched on, Riverside's role. This isn't an opportunity for me to market or anything like that. I am going to bring the programs that we offer and things that Riverside can help out with: nutritionists, exercise specialists, clinical wellness programs, things of that nature that can help you guys in the future. This is a little off topic, but it's one of my favorite quotes, and I think it's something that can be established, used in any facet of life. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan, although I did go to WVU. I've always been a huge Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. So Lou Holtz is Notre Dame football. So the ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. and attitude determines how well you do it. It's always been one of my favorite quotes, something that you can, you know, it's something that kind of goes with everything that occurs in life. You know, the successful aging, you're capable of slowing down the aging process. What's motivating you to do so, and your attitude toward the changes that need to be made is going to determine how well that aging process slows down. So I wanted to start out with something that I would say is not quite common knowledge, something that most people wonder. You know, I run a fitness facility. I speak with a lot of different people each day about what they should be doing, what should I be working on, what are my recommendations as far as how long to be on the treadmill, so on and so forth. And I think it's important that multiple avenues, options, options is going to be most important. One of the biggest issues about gyms and overall fitness facilities is the fact that people feel like it's a chore. People feel like, oh, I need to go to the gym today for X amount of minutes because that's what I'm supposed to do. Now, keeping yourself accountable, obviously very important. Yes, you do need to come to the gym, or you need to be outside doing something, but where people run into issues is when, it's, for example, I need to be on the treadmill for 45 minutes today and I need to do strength training for X amount of minutes. That's great. But there's going to be days when you come into the gym and you don't feel like doing anything, or you feel like, wow, I just showed up and what I planned is going to be a lot harder than what I really feel like doing. That happens to everybody. It's normal. The important thing is showing up and doing what you're capable of that day. If you show up and all you can do is walk half a mile and get a little stretch in and leave, that's better than not doing anything at all. So my first example here of what is the recommended number of minutes of exercise for each week. Example one is moderate intensity. So walking is going to be 150 minutes a week. So obviously broken down, you can do that, 5 days a week in 30 minutes. And that is your walking, that is your gardening, that is your, tasks that almost feel like you're not exerting yourself beyond a point of comfortability, but you're up, your heart rate's up, you're moving. So if you do that 30 minutes a day, you go on a 30-minute walk throughout your neighborhood every day during the week, you are meeting your recommended physical activity goals. It's very important to include muscle strengthening activities as well. So, getting that heart rate up, walking, getting the movement in is important. But for bone density, tissue, joints, a little bit of weightlifting is very important as well. So to combine with example one, muscle strengthening activities on 2 or more days a week that work all muscle groups. So I like to tell people it's always great to have a combination of different things. You always want to keep your body guessing is a very important thing. So a couple days of walking, light cardio, and incorporating some strength into that is a great combination to have. The next example is going to be vigorous to intense aerobic activity. So this is running. This is the Stairmaster. This is the rowing machine. Things that are going to get your heart rate up a bit more than your walking, gardening type activities. And for this example, they say that you only need 75 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes every week, which obviously broken down could be 5 times 15 minutes a day. Also, always incorporating the 2 days of strength building activities as well. And then obviously example 3 is going to be an equivalent mix of the moderate. It's just an equivalent mix of example 1 and 2. So mixing in days of running and jogging with days of walking or lighter activities. And once again, incorporating the strength aspect as well. So in a nutshell, long story short, to sum up this PowerPoint slide is going to be 150 minutes a week is going to break down to about 30 minutes a day if you do it weekly during the weekdays. And those are activities that you almost feel like, I didn't go to the gym. I may have not quote unquote worked out, but I was up and active. And an example 2 is going to be getting after it a little bit more, just a little bit shorter period of time. There we go. Okay. Fitness components. So there's 4 different components that when you come into a fitness facility, you're going to be looking to work on. Balance, so working on preventing falls, ensuring independence. Here at both Riverside Wellness and Fitness Centers, we have a very high percentage of members who are 65 and older. We have multiple programs such as building balance, body motion, and things of that nature. The classes, group exercise classes that work primarily on balance. We have a lot of people here from physical therapy as well who come from physical therapists. So the physical therapists come over here with them, and they're working on strength, balance, to ensure that independence, ensure that you're able to stay on your own, and not have to, obviously live in any facilities or anything. That you want to stay on your own as long as possible. Building that balance, building that strength and endurance is a great way to ensure that takes place. Flexibility is both great for improving your overall movement and injury prevention. We all wake up in the morning a little sore. The back hurts. The hamstrings are tight. The lower back's hurting more than it usually does. Starting your day every day by functional movement training just in your room, picking your feet up off the ground, driving your knees up, trying to bend over and touch your toes if you're still, if that's a possibility. Loosening up the shoulders, getting yourself going is very important. Flexibility is key to injury prevention as well. When you come in here and you jump on a treadmill and you just start running, or you jump on a strength building exercise without kind of warming up those muscles, you're asking for trouble. Like I've touched on a little bit already, strength, build muscle, strengthen bones. Osteoporosis, osteopenia is very common. We see a lot of people here every day with those type of issues. They're referred from their doctors all the time to start incorporating that strength aspect. So if you're somebody now who feels like you're doing a great job as far as cardio goes, walking, running, biking, hiking, whatever your favorite activity is, that's fantastic. And you need to keep that up. But the strength aspect is very important as well for strengthening those bones and muscle. And last but not least, obviously, is endurance. We want to strengthen the heart. We want to lower the resting heart rate, improve breathing capabilities. Those are all things that can be done both by strength training and by cardio training. Something that's left out very common is that, if you're in here lifting weights, that heart rate is up. You're breathing hard. So it's important as well. So, improving that heart, strengthening that heart, and improving breathing is going to be the last fitness component here. Some examples. So I don't want to just leave you with, those are the components. So now what does that mean? How do I address each component? So water aerobics. Both of our facilities and many other facilities in Newport News have indoor pools. Water aerobics is great. It's very popular at both of our centers. Just great for overall functionality, great for range of motion, for people who have bad knees, lower back problems, and they don't want to, walk for miles outside the pool. You can get in that pool and get some great work in. So we have a host of different group exercise classes at both facilities that touch on all of these different things that water aerobics can give you. Improved strength, flexibility, and balance can all take place in water aerobics. Great for people with balance issues. Obviously, once you're in that water, you don't have to worry about it near as much, and you can kind of progress your workouts from the deeper end of the pool to the shallow end, shallower until you're in 3 feet of water and you're able to do the same motions that you were doing in 4.5 feet of water, slowly dropping that water level and working on your balance. Resistant band workouts. These are ideal for strengthening the core, improving posture, mobility, and balance. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. You have your rubber bands. There's more workouts than you could ever imagine that you can do with those bands. And it's very, very easy to do it in the comfort of your own home. So that's another option that kind of addresses everything. You can cover the strength aspects, cardio aspects, functionality aspects, all using resistant band workouts. Pilates and yoga, it's going to get us into our stretching like we were on our last slide. Also touches on balance, touches on core strength and flexibility. So incorporating either A, stretching sessions after your workouts, or B, yoga and Pilates classes, taking 1 or 2 of those a week is very important. It'll help with a host of different things. It's amazing. It's amazing when you meet with people who have tight hamstrings, lower back problems. It is true that the entire human body is connected. So an issue that you're having with your lower back could be directly related to the fact that your hamstrings are tight. And simple waking up in the morning and 15 to 20 minutes of stretching rather than just hopping out of bed and starting your day can make all the difference in the world. Simply walking. The most underrated exercise there is getting your steps in every day. Both of our facilities have indoor walking tracks for our days that are the opposite of today, because I'm looking out my window and I see it's beautiful outside. Of course, it's a Friday and it's beautiful. But so both of our facilities have those indoor tracks. Get up, get outside, get walking. I don't know if you can see here, I have a Fitbit, tracks your steps, tracks your resting heart rate. They're very cheap to get. There's different, of course, there's always different levels, but every simple Fitbit or any type of watch like this is going to track those numbers. And you can kind of get into a competition with yourself. Yesterday I had 11,000 steps. Today I'm going for 12. My resting heart rate when I started this was 62. I've got it down to 56 because I've been working on my cardio. Things of that nature can help you track your progress. So it's important to do, but get up, get walking, get outside, get moving is the biggest thing. And then dumbbell training or any type of strength training. The great thing about dumbbell training is, first of all, it's something you can simply buy from the store. Anybody can go to Walmart right now and buy 15, 20-pound dumbbells, 10-pound dumbbells, 5-pound dumbbells, wherever you're at. And it allows for isolation and obviously strengthening the muscle group. So for instance, if I'm working with a barbell meaning just a long 45-pound bar that you would put the weights on the ends of, it's very easy for your body to overcompensate one side or the other. So I've got a straight bar with 200 pounds on it. I'm pressing it with both arms. You don't know whether or not it's 100 pounds on each side. It's 97 and 103, whatever the breakdown is. Dumbbells allow for you to make sure that each side is getting the same amount of work. So it's always good to incorporate those as well. This is a pretty generic list of the different benefits of exercise, and we're going to get into each category of these. But in a nutshell, some of the benefits that you can receive from regular exercise would be a decrease in blood pressure, an obvious increase in strength if you're working the strength exercises and cardiovascular endurance, if you're getting the mix in of both like you should be. Increased balance, like we touched on, ensures that independence, and just overall quality of life. Nobody wants to walk around having to grab onto rails all day long or couch surf, whatever term you want to put on it. So just that independence and just overall confidence every single day. Increased lung and breathing function goes without saying. Hop on that treadmill, hop on that Stairmaster, go on that walk, deep breaths, try to get that heart rate up, and slowly but surely you'll see great improvement. Improved immune function. Regular exercise helps improve immune function. So, it goes without saying that we've all had a rough couple years, and so building that immune system up is imperative. Reduce depression and anxiety. It's a pretty common quote or statement, but people usually work out because they want to look good and feel good. Those are the two reasons that people exercise. You want to look good in the mirror and you want to feel good after you're done exercising. I can say personally that probably number one for me, the reason that I exercise on a regular basis is that endorphin burn off. And after you're done, it's just a great relaxed feeling. I love that feeling. Leaving work in the evening, going home, feeling relaxed at the end of the day. If I don't work out, I don't have that same sense of relaxation. So a lot of people work out for that reduced depression, reduced anxiety, and just overall calm feeling. And then obviously control obesity. Obesity is a huge issue in our country and across the world overall, but primarily in America. So obviously exercise and improved diet, which is something we'll touch on, can both be controlled. So a couple strategies to improve your activity level. A lot of people are in that contemplation stage where they want to work out, they know they should work out, but they find every excuse not to. The gym is a very different place. It's something that you have to be motivated to come to. You have to show up and get after it. Getting people in here and signing people up is one thing, but showing up on a consistent basis is a whole nother hurdle to jump. So this is a way where, I went in, I signed up for my gym membership, but I just haven't been there as much as I should, and so on and so forth. These are a few things that will help you. So number one, and most important on a day-to-day basis, I hear is a workout partner. People here and at Newport News are always looking for somebody who's interested in the same type of activities. Pickleball is huge at both facilities. We have a decent following for pickleball. There's always a list of people. I want to find people to play pickleball with. So we have lists of names where people put them down that, if you're willing to come play at, Wednesdays at 1:00, I will too. So having that workout partner, if it's a friend, if it's family, if it's your dog, the dog's never going to turn down a walk outside. So if I say the word walk, I have to say W. I can't even say the word walk around my house or my yellow lab will lose his mind. So find that partner that's motivated as you are to get out and do something, and you guys can keep each other accountable. If you have someone at the gym waiting on you or waiting out in the neighborhood to go walking, it's a lot harder for you to make up an excuse than if you were going alone. Group exercise classes. This kind of piggybacks off of the workout partner list, but a lot of times when people are new to the gym, you come in and you don't know what you're doing. And this doesn't have to take place at a gym. This could be out in the neighborhood and in the community as well. But a group exercise class allows for you to be around other people that may be at the same fitness level as you. Pick classes that are kind of lended towards your fitness level at the moment and what you're interested in. And you get to watch an instructor who's doing the moves correctly or will critique you if you are not. So it kind of ensures the safety aspect of things, and it's an hour of you being in a group, and it gives a lot of people motivation to keep up and work harder when they are surrounded by others doing the same exact thing. So that's been a proven way to kind of get people acquainted with the gym, confident, and then from there they can kind of progress what they're doing. Dividing your workout up. So a lot of people see coming to the gym or exercising after work as well. I've been up since 6 a.m. I worked from 8 to 5. Now it's 5 o'clock. I got to cook dinner, so on and so forth. It's important to get up and moving during lunch break. And there's no problem with you breaking workouts up. If you do 15-minute walk during lunch, you strength train 20 or 30 minutes before work started, and then you can get a 10-minute, 15-minute walk throughout the neighborhood after dinner. There you go. Add it up, and I know that was beyond 60 minutes, and that's one day. And we're only looking for 150 minutes a week. So a little by little breaks up to be the same exact thing. Doesn't matter if it's all at the same time or if you break it up during the day. Reward yourself. So this is a slippery slope. You can't live a life where you don't ever reward yourself. It's very important to be regimented, to be strict, but at the same time, you don't want it to become a chore. You don't want it to be, I'm so sick of eating chicken and rice and vegetables. I can't wait till I can have something different. One meal, a day of the week where you incorporate a couple things that you wouldn't necessarily during the week. Have a cookie, have some ice cream. If you've been good all week long, a bowl of ice cream or something is not going to break you. And looking forward to that treat, looking forward to that reward might make being good during the week that much easier. So when people are so strict that they don't ever reward themselves, it becomes a chore. It just becomes not fun overall. And that's when people fall off the horse and don't want to be consistent with it anymore. Doing enjoyable activities. You don't have to come into the gym to get a good workout. This could be swimming out in the York River. This could be, tubing. This could be walking. This could be tennis. This could be any activity that you enjoy. There's plenty of activities outside, basketball, all sorts of things that you're moving, your heart rate's up, you're getting exercise, but you're not thinking about it. That's why a lot of people love the treadmills that have the solitaire and TVs on them and things like that, because their mind can go somewhere else while they're doing it, and you don't even think about the fact that you're exercising. So doing enjoyable activities will allow you to do that without actually having to come into a gym. Distractions, once again, kind of piggybacking off of the TV and music thing. Distractions while you're exercising. I love to listen to music or podcasts when I'm on the treadmill. Comedy, I'm a big stand-up comedy guy. If I'm working out and I'm listening to stand-up comedy, I can work out and I don't even remember that I'm working out. I'm listening to somebody tell jokes and it takes my mind off everything. So find the thing that makes you happiest, whether that be, rock music, rap music, podcasts about anything, whatever it may be, and it'll help distract you. Track progress is kind of something that we already spoke about. The watch, doesn't have to be a watch. It could be you jotting down things in a notebook. On Monday and Tuesday, I walked for 25 minutes at 2.5% incline. I'm going to try 3% this week, and I'm going to jot it down and slowly try to progress. And then also post-workout relaxation, something to look forward to. Like I talked about, those endorphins being burned off. You're going to feel relaxed. Always focusing on deep breathing once you're done with exercise is something I always like to do. Big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Couple big, nice ones, fill the lungs up. Definitely help you relax after a hard workout. I don't know if we have any Grinch fans in the comments, but I'm a big Grinch guy, so I couldn't resist. If you're a Grinch fan, go ahead and throw it in the chat. This is a good scene here. Am I eating because I'm bored? But this is going to be some consumption tips, things that you don't have to reverse everything that you're doing. A couple small tweaks here and there can make a huge difference. So first of all, examine your relationship with food, which most people would say, my relationship with food, what does that mean? So your relationship with food, meaning, am I eating because I'm bored? Okay. Am I snacking at times where I'm not necessarily, I could go without, I could go get a glass of water, drink that glass of water, and it would crave, curve those cravings until it was time to truly eat. So examine when you're eating, examine what you're eating at certain times and what you could cut back on. Control your portions. Like I said, it's important to reward yourself. It's important not to live such a strict life that you're just like, it's almost the same. It's Groundhog Day every day, and I don't get any reward. But controlling your portions is very important. Now, you can go out and have that small piece of cheesecake. Just don't eat the whole cake. Get a little taste, crave that, or find that craving and take care of it, but not to the point where you're taking in so many calories of unhealthy food. Moderation, same exact thing. Keep things fun. In moderation, most foods can be eaten, of course. It's just when we start to incorporate those into our everyday eating, that's when things get out of hand. So, have the little bit of cookies, have the brownie here and there. We just don't want it every single night before bed. Eat a variety of nutritious food. So this is something that I'm guilty of. Most people are. I do my best to get in the fruits and veggies. It's not always my favorite thing to do, but it is very important. So eating just a variety of different nutritious foods is important. Drinking more water. So this is twofold. This is something that will make you feel like you're full. So drinking a lot of water can help with weight loss overall, flushing out the system, keeping yourself hydrated, keeping yourself full is very important. So the recommendation for water is going to be half your body weight in ounces is what I would recommend you drink. So I'm roughly 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water a day. That puts you at about 8 bottles of water. So 8 bottles of water a day. It's another thing. Break it up during the day. People walk around with these big jugs and feel like they need to chug it all day long. find a schedule that works for you. If you work from 8 to 4, I'm going to try to finish 5 to 6 water bottles while I'm at work during the day, add another 1 or 2 at night. There we go. I hit our goal. No excess sodium. So this is tough, right? I'm another one that I can be guilty of myself that I need to be better at, but you get fries from somewhere and you throw salt on it before you even taste the fries. We're all guilty of it from time to time, but it's important that there's enough salt and sugar in our foods already that adding on to that is where things can get dangerous. Less sugar, kind of piggybacking off what we just said. Same thing, just be smart about the foods that you're eating. It's very, very hard to avoid sugar in today's world, but having your own vegetable garden, eating lean meat, brown rice, things of that nature, seafood. There's a lot of healthy options where you can avoid it for the most part. Eating smart while eating out. So we all go out to dinner, the weekend's coming up, be nice outside. You might, go to your local favorite bar, whatever it is. Even when you're out, there's healthy options. Now, I know we don't always want to go out and eat a salad or whatever it may be, but the grilled chicken rather than the fried, or, like I said, not throwing the extra salt all over your fries, or getting sweet potato fries rather than regular. There's a lot of options out there. So just because you're going out doesn't mean, well, we're going out, I might as well have fun and do whatever I want. You're a grown person, you can do whatever you want. But if you want to be smart about, your healthy aging and things of that nature, there's always smarter, healthier options on the menu than the cheeseburger and fries. And last but not least, count your calories. Now, this is a little daunting. If you're not someone who's had any background or experience in doing so, it can be even more daunting. Having to weigh out your food can be time constraining. So it doesn't have to be down to a T. We can look at the back of a label and see, okay, if I have, X amount of crackers out of this bag, it's going to be this many calories. Keeping a notebook, keeping count of what you're doing during the day. It may not be an exact number, but it's going to put you in that ballpark to where you can pretty closely control what you're taking in and what you're burning off. The next section we're going to talk about is a healthy brain. What can I do to ensure my brain is functioning at an optimal level? So mental stimulation. You don't ever want to stop learning. So this is something that, recent high school, college graduates are probably most, likely to say is, well, I'm done with school. I can't, I'm so sick of having to go to class and learn and things like that. As many of you know, learning never ends. You're going to get a job that makes you do learning modules. You're going to have to go to, conventions and listen to people speak about the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. So continuing learning is very important, and brain games is very important as well. So, the Sudoku, the solitaire, the word puzzles and riddles and things of that nature. You want to keep challenging yourself. You don't want to be so that, you kind of get in that rut and every day is the same and you're not thinking outside the box. Mentally that can kind of just expedite the process of aging. So just challenge yourself, find new hobbies, just working on that, thinking outside the box is very important. As you all know, we're touching on it already. I'm not going to keep touching on the same thing, but physical exercises is huge for brain health as well. And so is an improved diet, which are two things we kind of already spoke about, but a combination of improving upon your physical exercise and what you take in to fuel your body is going to fuel your brain as well. Knowing your numbers, which is something that we've talked about a little bit, and then in another slide or two, I have some information on. Knowing your blood pressure, knowing your cholesterol and sugar levels, glucose levels, and your overall BMI, body mass index, are 4 numbers that if you keep in check and you know how to test them and know what you're looking for, it usually lends to a much more successful aging. Socialization. So kind of right with the mental stimulation. You want to get out. You want to, I know not all of us are, extroverts. Some of us like to be inside, and that's completely fine. But human interaction, socialization is important. So incorporating some of that during your week to get out, get moving, fresh air, get with some friends, go out and have lunch, things of that nature are good for anxiety, depression, overall just brain health. Avoid alcohol and tobacco abuse. This isn't you having your glass of red wine with your dinner or a couple of beers during the weekends, whatever it may be. This is true abuse, lends to dementia risks and overall just mental deterioration. So definitely avoid abusing either of those. And then sleep, like we talked about a little bit. Sleep is huge. Sleep is it's amazing what your body does while you're asleep if you're getting enough sleep. So improve just brain function, memory, a reduced risk of heart disease. There are a list of different benefits to getting enough sleep each night. So a little bit about our 4 key numbers. I know there's a lot of information up on the screen, so I'm not going to read this all word for word for you guys. But overall, these are going to be the 4 key numbers that are arguably most important when it comes to your overall health. So blood pressure, as most of us know, that 120/80 has been the kind of the number to hit for many years. It's one of those things that kind of change a little bit. Usually you're going to want to keep the systolic below 140 and diastolic below 90. If your numbers are below 140 and over 90, then you're in a decent spot. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but below 140 over 90 is going to be kind of the top. That's the ceiling. You want to be below that. Overall cholesterol, like I said, a lot of information here. But overall, we just want to control the fatty substances in our blood. There's good cholesterol, there's bad cholesterol, and there's overall cholesterol. And as you guys can see there's some numbers for you to kind of keep in mind. Something that, when next time you go to your doctor, try to get everything tested and see where you are on the scale. And from there, recommendations as far as how to lower would be, I would recommend speaking to your doctor on things that they would like for you to change, whether about your diet, about your physical exercise, things of that nature will lend to lowering that cholesterol number. Glucose and BMI. So we're talking about that sugar breakdown. Like I said, it's hard to avoid the sugar these days. Obviously, it's in a lot of our food, same with salt, but same exact thing. Just being smart, making the right decisions. We're not always going to be eating the best diet in the world, but avoiding the type 2 diabetes, keeping those numbers below 100 is imperative in your overall life. BMI is going to be the last number. Now, this is something that, to people who are in the chat section who regularly lift weights, people who have a higher amount of muscle percentage than your average human, your BMI is going to be a little off. So an example being, BMI is calculated by your height and weight in a nutshell. So for instance, I'm about 5'10", 195, 200 pounds. I myself would be viewed as overweight on the BMI scale. From just muscle mass, it's gonna recommend that I'm weighing closer to the 170, 180 range. So if you're somebody who regularly does strength exercises, this scale is going to be a little skewed. Now, if you are somebody who does primarily cardio exercise, doesn't lift too many weights, or doesn't really exercise at all, this scale is going to be probably a little more tended toward you. So it's important to, and you can go right online. I have a formula that's going to be on the next slide, but you can go right online to a BMI calculator, type it in Google. There's plenty of sites where you can jot in your height and weight and it'll spit out a number. And as you see, your healthy target is 18.5 to right under 25. So that's something you can check out once we're done here. And here are the formulas and measurements. So your BMI calculation, this is kind of the reason why I said to go to a search engine and try to figure it out. So there is a mathematical way to figure it out. It just takes a little bit of practice to get done. 703 times your body weight. And then you're going to divide that number by the amount of inches that you are. So for instance, I'm about 70 inches tall. So we're going 703 times 200 divided by 70 will give you your BMI. So as I have an example right below there. And the last thing is going to be waist circumference. So a lot of people are enamored by their number, by the amount of pounds that they weigh. Is it important? Of course. But once again, it's one of those things where, and a lot of us have heard this, muscle weighs more than fat. So people come into the gym and they start lifting weights and burning fat and putting on muscle, and a month passes and they've gained a pound or they've lost 1 pound or whatever it may be. And in their mind, oh, wow, I'm doing all this for no reason. The truth being, measurements is probably your best option as far as tracking progress. So, I'm starting a new exercise program. I haven't been in the gym in years. I want to get some baseline numbers, right? I want to take my measurements for my hips and my waist. I want to measure my arms. I want to measure my thighs, right? So in another month or two, 3-4 months down the road, whenever you'd like to check it again and you feel like you made progress, you may have only lost a pound or two, right? But your overall measurements are down. Your resting heart rate is down. Your blood pressure is better. Your glucose levels are better because you improved your diet. Those are the things that truly matter. Slowly but surely, you're going to see the results in the mirror. You're going to see the results when you get your numbers back as far as your fat percentage and your BMI and things of that nature. So I would recommend not being so concerned about the number that you see on the scale and be more concerned about how you feel on a day-to-day basis, because I promise if that diet improves and your overall physical activity level improves, you'll feel better. Importance of sleep. So I'm jumping around a little bit, but we'll get to it eventually. Importance of sleep. So like I said, learning and memory through the correct amount of sleep is going to improve your focus, attention, memory consolidation. So overall, just the compartmentalizing of your day-to-day is going to improve with the amount of sleep that you have. Metabolism and weight regulates hormones and stores carbohydrates. So overall, the right amount of sleep is going to improve your metabolism. If you're sleeping, that means you're not snacking. That means you're not eating at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So obviously that's gonna help with weight as well. Well-being, accidents due to lack of sleep. So not to be too negative, but as we all know, people fall asleep behind the wheel of their cars. People fall asleep at work and get fired. People fall asleep in presentations and get in trouble. All sorts of things, which seems obvious. We all know that happens. But obviously the importance of sleep is huge with all of those things. If we're sleeping enough at night, we shouldn't be falling asleep in important meetings or behind the wheel in important situations that put others in danger. So just the overall well-being of yourself and others around you. Mood, we can all speak to this. I have a daughter who's about to turn 1 this weekend. So my sleep is not where it should be at the moment, as many of you know, but in mood as well. So there's days where if she's up screaming at 3 a.m. and Connor doesn't get back to sleep at all, and I have to make sure that my mood is intact for work all day long. So we all know if we get the right amount of sleep at night, your mood is going to improve. You're just going to have overall better experience at work during your day, better interactions with people. Very important. Health helps with inflammation, helps with blood pressure, stroke, obesity. There was a recent study done around the time change. So trying to remember now, I don't want to butcher what country it came out of, but it's not all that important. They did a study when we switched back to when our time just switched. They did a study with people in the countries that have this time switch, and overall, it was amazing the amount of increase when it comes to heart disease, stroke, and things of that nature when people lose that hour of sleep. When we gain it back, it's amazing the percentages. Just from that 1 hour makes a huge difference in the countries that participate in switching the clocks back and forth. Stroke, obesity, heart disease, all of that are up when people start to lose that 1 hour of sleep, which is crazy to think, but very interesting to read about. And then overall, just increased risk of chronic diseases like we touched on. Great for prevention. So just sleep recommendations. These are just a couple things that if I'm going to talk about why sleep is important, then I'm going to give you a couple ways to hopefully, even if it helps you a little bit, help improve your overall sleeping habits. So using your bed for sleep. This is something that I had to really get used to, like after college. It's like, you get out of college and you're in a dorm room or in some little apartment where you only have so much space anyway. So your bed is used for homework, TV, video games, and sleep. So using your bed, associating your bed with, okay, it's time for sleep, is going to make going to sleep easier. And you're just not going to be as comfortable. Like, why am I laying in bed? It's the middle of the afternoon. My bed is for sleep. So in your mind, it's going to kind of slowly but surely program yourself to, okay, this is for bedtime only. Ditching the TV and phone screens before bed. So there's been plenty of studies on this as well. Usually most people say you want to cut off phone use, TV use right around 30 minutes before bed is a realistic thing for most people. So, ditching that phone, ditching the TV screen, about 30 minutes before bed will help just falling asleep be a lot easier for you. Restrict time in bed if time is spent in bed lying awake. So just laying there, oh, I can't sleep, and rolling around for hours and hours and hours. Get up, go do something. I know at 3 a.m. you only have so many options, but whether that be walking downstairs, hanging out with the dog, watching TV, it is what it is at that point. So don't associate laying in bed and just getting frustrated, because a lot of times at that point, it's just going to be a snowball effect. Exercise in the afternoon and early evening. I know a lot of people who like their morning workouts, which is fantastic. Whenever you can get it in, please do, by all means. My personal preference is burning off those endorphins and having that relaxed feeling while I'm leaving work in the early evening. It's nice to feel relaxed at work, but if I'm going to choose one or the other, it's going to be when I'm off, going home to relax. So, entering that house, relax, endorphins burned off, feeling accomplished, will lend to obviously getting tired in the evening time and going to sleep. Avoid caffeine, nicotine, alcohol right before bed. So those are all things that are going to speed up brain function. They're going to have us wound up, have us off task. If you're taking in large amounts of caffeine, nicotine, or alcohol before bed, most times bed isn't going to be your number one priority. Going to sleep is not going to be your number one priority. So cutting those things off hours before bed is imperative. You may still be able to fall asleep, but you're not going to get the same amount of deep sleep that you would if you were not under the influence of any of those drugs. Try to go to bed at the same time every night. Now, this is tough. We all know. This is another thing where you're not going to be perfect. Now, some of you may be. Myself, I'm not. There's a range where I really try to get to sleep in, whether it be 10, 10:30, somewhere in that range. Try not to allow yourself to go way beyond your usual range. And then same thing with waking up in the morning. Obviously, there's going to be days during the week where you have to wake up earlier than others. But making it a habit of getting up and going to sleep around the same time frame, as long as it's a good time frame. We're not talking about going to sleep at 1 a.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. every day. That's not healthy. But if we can get to sleep around 10 and wake up at 6, or whatever your comfortable time frame is, very important. And keep in mind that daytime naps affect nighttime sleep. So I'm not a napper quite yet. I think my daughter's had a little bit of impression on me when it comes to that, but I haven't completely included that in my day-to-day life. But just remember, you sleep an hour at 4 o'clock, you're most likely not going to sleep as well when it comes to be 9 or 10 o'clock when it's really time for sleep. And I will answer your guys' question. We're getting towards the end of the PowerPoint. I'll address the chat at the end here. So just a couple offerings. So I wanted to go over, and this isn't, like I said, this isn't my way of marketing and pressing our programs on you guys. There's going to be plenty of other places. There's going to be, Riverside facilities where you can have this, or outside, but just some ideas of things and classes that will tend toward the aging process. Right now, both Riverside facilities have a clinical wellness program called RISE, which stands for Riverside's Introduction to Supervised Exercise. This is ideal for your new gym goer. This is, you haven't been in the gym in 15 years and you would be intimidated walking in here, not knowing how to turn on the treadmills and work the chest press. This is somebody who is either A, new to the gym facility, or B, referral from a doctor or nurse. We have everything from osteoporosis to sore ankles, bad knees, hip replacements, a very wide range of different referrals from doctors and nurses and physical therapists. This program, you'll be working with an exercise specialist who can kind of tend all the workouts toward what you need. So a good program for people who are newer and people who are leaving physical therapy and things like that. Building balance is essentially exactly what it sounds like. Group exercise class that's based primarily around improving your balance. They work on a number of different things, strengthening, endurance, but the main premise of the class is improving your balance, improving independence. Maintaining movement is a class that we have at our Newport News facility and is primarily for participants with neurological diseases. Primarily Parkinson's is probably our biggest driver for that class. But overall, just great for functional movement, range of motion, things of that nature are addressed in maintaining movement. Cancer wellness, we have oncology at both facilities. So for anybody who has had cancer of any type, a lot of stretching, a lot of yoga, and overall just the full realm. You're going to get strength, you're going to get cardio endurance, the whole bit, but much tended towards that of cancer survivors. Two more. Keep the Beat is a cardiac rehab program. So if you're someone who has finished phase 2 cardiac rehab with any program, Centera, Riverside, anywhere around, we have a phase 3 cardiac program here and at Newport News. That's kind of that next step up. We're tracking blood pressure, we're tracking heart rate, we're getting in plenty of cardio, and we're mixing. Each session is going to be maybe strength, maybe stretching, maybe band exercises, a good variety of things to where you can come in this facility after taking that class and know, okay, I can use this machine, I can do this, a good realm of different things. And then we also have nutrition counseling. So we have a nutritionist that handles both facilities and someone that you can talk to about meal prepping, how to lower your blood sugar, whatever your issues may be at this time. We frozen up here? Oh, all right, we're good. And this is just a few things that we offer at the facilities. If you haven't checked out either one of them, this is going to tend to all 4 components of our fitness journey. So equipment at both facilities includes weight machines, cardiovascular machines, free weights, and you have the indoor track. So, the treadmills, the bikes, the ellipticals, the rowers, all the strength machines, and then we also have weight rooms. Both facilities have pools, whirlpools, saunas, hot tubs, and we have water aerobics and swim lessons. So if you're somebody who has bad knees or bad functionality, that pool is great for getting that movement in without having to rely so much on your balance, your strength. And obviously the whirlpool is great for just relaxing and kind of resting those muscles. So those are both options. Kind of piggybacking off what we talked about as far as getting motivated, the group classes, finding that workout partner, finding that class that motivates you to come in here and get better. So we have a huge variety of group exercise classes, everything from beginner to pretty advanced circuit training and TRX type things. So a good variety at both places for you to check out. And then last but not least, racket sports. So this is one of those things where, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about when you want to exercise, but you don't want it to seem like exercise. So, if I'm playing tennis, if I'm playing racquetball, if I'm playing basketball, if I'm playing all these different sports, that's a way that I am getting that heart rate up and I'm working hard, but it's not me on a treadmill running in place. If that's something that seems daunting and boring to you, going out in that basketball court and playing basketball and running around, may even be better than the treadmill. You're getting lateral movement in, you're working different muscles rather than just being in a straight line. So switch it up, do things that you enjoy. Tennis is a great sport for getting that heart rate up. It's lateral movement and athleticism. Same with racquetball, same with pickleball. So a good variety there. And then here are just our current locations. So I know that most of you probably live on the other side of the water. So your Newport News facility is going to be right there on Jefferson. It's right next to like Sonic and Walgreens, across from Dunkin' Donuts and all the places that are healthy. And then our Gloucester location is right next to the Walter Reed Hospital. So we're in the same parking lot as the Walter Reed Hospital, right off 17. And we have phone numbers for both facilities below if you have any questions about any programs. If you want just insight on, give me some tips. If you want to call that 693-8888 number and ask for me, if you were a part of this presentation, if you have questions and things like that, I'm here in the office. Ask for Connor and they'll send you up to my office. Let me pull up the chat here. Let's see. Just a couple questions that came in, most about sleep. Let's see here. Patricia, I can pull up my bio again if you'd like. I can just scroll back here in a second. Excuse me. Benefit to sleep before midnight from a couple of different people. Let's see here. Is 10 p.m. an ideal bedtime? What is the best bedtime to get time? So that's going to be completely based off of your schedule. So I know that's not a good answer, so I apologize. But if you're somebody who regularly wakes up at 4 o'clock, 5 a.m., there's a lot of people who come to this gym that are knocking on that door to come in here at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, Patricia, thank you for the message. A lot of people knocking on that door very early in the morning. So they have to be up by 4 a.m. Their bedtime isn't going to be the same as mine. I can wake up at 4 a.m. if I need to, but Connor is never going to choose to do so. So I wake up closer to right around 6:45 in the morning. So if I get to sleep by 10:45, there's my 8 hours. I can stretch it to 11, 11:15 and still be right around that 7.5 number is completely fine. So much of it is directly based around when that internal clock of yours goes off in the morning. Unless you're still working and you have an actual alarm clock that's gonna wake you up. But if you're someone who worked at the shipyard or wherever for 30 years and woke up at 3:30 and you're still waking up at 3:30 because you're used to it, that bedtime is going to be closer to 8:30, something in that range. Wherever you can get it in, the hours that it takes place don't make as much of a difference. There's people who come here who work at the West Point Mill or work at Anheuser-Busch and they're on shift work. So one week they're waking up at 3 a.m. and the next week they're waking up at noon, depending on what shift they're on. So it's going to be something that kind of varies from each person, but just important to be somewhere in that 7 hour to 8 hour range per day. And that includes naps as well. So if you're a napper during the day and you get your 30-minute in, then there you go. You got 30 in the bank. You got to get another 6.5, 7 to put you in that range that you want to be at. Let's see. If there are no other questions, like I said, I have a number up here to this facility or the one in Newport News. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Questions about the gym, questions about the presentation. I am open to all callers. So I appreciate everyone's support for this, the opportunity, everybody logging in. And please, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you guys for the opportunity. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy the weather.